the shapes that have been carved out. Well, the same thing applies for you. If there were a light inside of you, when somebody looked at you, what would they see through the carving? What's the design? What's the shape and the pattern that people are seeing when they're looking at your light? Shine your bright light of love in a way that is clearly seen and deeply appreciated.
Have you seen the whitest fog rising from the mine? The water's warm, the air is freezing, these harbingers of fall. And underneath that rootin' rock, all the water's on the rise, as these drops of crimson start to spread. Oh, this is a harvest time. Well, this pool of crimson will catch your eye when you're driving by. Stop a minute to rest your mind while you thank yourself in time. And all this beauty passes from season to century. You best catch it while the moment lasts, from winter's icy grass. So let it last now. Let me take you in my arms. So let it last now. Well, we haven't got too long. So let it last now. Let me take you in my arms. So let it last now. Well, we haven't got too long. Well, there's beauty in every season and everything you feel. The cuts are rough, they might just heal. The scars are yours to seal. Well, clasp your hands together, or just choose to set them free. Well, the choice is yours and yours alone. Just don't lather up misery. Let it last now. Let me take you in my arms. Let it last now. But we haven't got too long. Let it last now. Let me take you in my arms. Let it last now. Well, we haven't got too long. Oh, long. So you better let it last now. Let me take you in my arms. Let it last now. Well, we haven't got too long, so you better let it last now. Let me take you in my arms. Let it last now. Well, we haven't got too long.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you, Ami. It is wonderful to see you again. Wonderful to see everybody again. And just the amazing richness and variety of the places that we are sitting at home, sitting in cars, whether it's in Florida or upstate Western New York or New Orleans or North Carolina or wherever. It's the opportunity for love to unfold. And good morning, New Thought, Philadelphia. Ah. You guys know the rules for Zoom. We've been doing this long enough, so keep yourself muted except when we're going to be sharing or when we want to make some sort of a big bracket together, like now. So go ahead and unmute your microphone and repeat after me. I open myself to love.
I open myself to love.
I open myself to joy.
I open myself to joy.
I open myself to a harvest of goodness.
I open myself to harvest of goodness.
And I know love is right here, right now.
And I know that love is
right here, right now.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Amen. Yeah, amen. Go ahead and use your mute button one more time as I remind you that New Thought Philadelphia is an open and loving community of spiritual adventurers, welcoming each person to experience their divine nature in an empowering space of unconditional love. Whatever path you've been on, whatever brought you to our Zoom today, wherever you're headed next, we have been expecting you. Welcome home. We don't require that you believe anything. It's just helpful if we kind of start with everybody's foot in the same boat, which is that we believe there's one power, love, intelligence, or force that creates everything, including each of us. And that we're each using that same power, love, intelligence, or force to create our lives according to our beliefs. The way we like to say it for short is your new life begins with a new thought. So if you have a cell phone, or I happened to be talking about pagers and Blackberries earlier over the weekend. If you have one of those, go ahead and turn it off so we can disconnect ourselves from the rest of the world around us and focus in on this time that we are spending together. I'm Reverend Bill Marchione. I'm your MC for today. Our guest speaker is Reverend Dr. Martha Creek. That's the last time I'm going to put all the honorifics on top of that. We'll look forward to the sharing that she's going to be doing on the heart of everyday life. Our music today is Ami Yaris, playing from South Philadelphia, and our practitioner for the celebration, who's going to be opening us in prayer, is Jesus Baez, just outside Daytona Beach, Florida, as we speak. Jesus, pray us in.
Thank you, Rev. Thank you. Just settle into the goodness. Let's gather our good. We've been this year, this week, this day, been planting the seed. It's time to harvest. Harvest the good that we share with each other. And the good God gonna speak to us through our guest speaker, Martha Creek. God is singing to us through Amy. The flames of faith is gonna be lighting. The reading is coming through Jennifer. The meditation and the good and the joy and the peace and that poise through Karen. This moment, each one of us that is here, sharing the talents, the gift, that good that we harvesting in this day. For each one of us to grow more and more in that good, in that knowing, going to the higher frequency from that eternal light that is within each one of us. Who is man and women that God remembers him? What is man and women that God got memory of him? We are being created in the image and likeness of the Most Highest. We are living in that glory, in that honor. Father, Mother God, give me that glory that I have from the beginning of time. From the changeless, from the bornless to the deathless, that is God in us, sharing himself in a unique and individualized way. We are that channel, we are that bridge We are that tunnel where spirit expresses itself in a unique and magnificent and marvelous way. Let our light shine from each one of us that is here. For each one of us express that love, that unity, that balance, that freedom, that spirit is urging us. It's always knocking. It's always want to be recognized and realized in each one of our lives. And I know this to be true because today is the day that the Lord has made. I'm grateful and I'm joyful because the joy of the Lord is my strength. I live and move and have my being in the wonderful presence that's never an absent, that is here right now, expressing through the instruments, through the words, through the looks, through the feelings and imagination, making himself known in this very particular time and space. Oh, I'm so grateful. Grateful from the center of my being where the spirit dwells in the secret place of each one of us, abiding under the shadow of the Almighty. Today is a day of celebration. Today is a day of inspiration. Today is the day of intuition. I open myself to this good. And I claim this good for each one here. And I release my word with gratitude and joy to the creative medium that always say yes. And once again, they say yes. So it is. Amen.
And so it is. Thank you, Jesus. And a prayer is not something that we do to check off something on a box or to appease God or to get a God point for some reason. They're an actual active element in the creative power of the universe. So if anybody has a prayer work story that you'd like to share about a prayer that you had and that brought some newness into your life, go ahead and raise your hand. Joe Catanzaro, that didn't take long.
So Carolyn and I talked on the phone Wednesday night, and we had this, we did a prayer for each other. And I tend to get, my area of prosperity or abundance issues are around time, not money. So I tend to get a little frantic. So we did a prayer about that. And then Thursday, I got up and I had a bunch of things to do. And I started to feel myself get wound up, and I said, nope, peace, harmony, balance, ease, it's going to be great. So, and things really started to fall into place until I went to the store, and I was in a thrift store, and I'm wandering around for a while, and I go to check out, and I look at my basket, and it's not my basket, and there was no purse in the basket. And I literally almost passed out. I was just on the verge of hysteria. So I ran back to where I thought I may have left it. There it was, everything in the cart. Purse is open, but everything's in there. Keys, money, wallet, the whole night, the phone. It's like, I don't know how, but it all worked out. So maybe maybe I'll be less inclined to panic next time, but it was really wonderful. So I'll share that.
Beautiful. Thank you, Joe. And panic is always an option, but it's an option. Hannah, did I see your hand go up? No? Okay. Anybody else have a prayer work story to share? Okay. It is amazing the wonderful ways. There's Asa. Is it Asa? Did I pronounce that right? Asa, go ahead. You need to unmute.
All right. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Well, just a few hours before contacting you through the internet, looking for a spiritual community. I'm in Baltimore, and I'm looking for a community in Philadelphia. And you showed up. And the first time I go on and I listen to you and Reverend Carol, like 2 days ago, I got hooked. I got hooked because I want to be in a community. Right now, it's just me, myself, and I, and the spirit community, and but not anything in physical contact. And I wanted that, but the baseline is that I wanted a belief that there's only one God, there's only one of us, and to truly believe that and live from that. And the more I hear of your community, of which I was on your prayer yesterday morning, the more I realize I think the connection has been served well by what I'm hearing from New Thought Philly. So thank you so much for being there. And thank you so much for being real and funny.
Thank you, Asa.
Blessings, everyone. And I look forward to being with you.
Oh, it's wonderful to have you here and to have you on the meditations. We're going to be welcoming new guests in just a couple of minutes, so make sure that you allow that blessing to settle all over you. The daily meditations are just wonderful fun. We wind up kind of, it's like an organic, there are people who come into the meditations and they're there for a while. Some people are there all the time, and then they come and go. And it's wonderful to be, connecting with Michelle, who's on the meditations almost every day. Met her through Meetup in Western New York, in Rochester. Absolutely cool. There's Aza, who is now our second person on the Zoom today, who's in Baltimore. So who thought we'd have a footprint like that? So I am just grateful for the possibilities and the way the new stuff is opening up all the time. So I'm not going to get ahead of myself, and bless you for being here. That's coming up right after the announcements. By the way, here's Sandy with the announcements.
Good morning. This harvest of information is on our website at newthoughtphilly.org and in our weekly e-newsletter. Please sign up on the website so we can keep in touch. Twice a day, we have a community check-in and meditation on Zoom. Everyone's welcome. They're inspiring and fun and quick, less than 15 minutes start to finish. Fall classes start in October and they'll be great. Roots of New Thought on Tuesday evening via Zoom explores the ideas and writings of Ralph Waldo Emerson, Emma Curtis Hopkins, and other founders of our teaching. It begins this Tuesday. The series of spiritual adventure workshops continues with the 4 agreements this Thursday evening at Exhale in Narberth and hybrid on Zoom. Take one or join for the series. Sign up today. Episode 70 of Reverend Bill's Practical Prayer Podcast is Newness. It's on Apple, Google, Spotify, or Stitcher. You can join the live recording session on Monday at 1 p.m. on YouTube and Facebook Live. Follow our social media on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and join the 1,153 spiritual adventurers in our group on meetup.com. Power of 8 Intention Circle meets on Zoom every Monday at 6:30 p.m. The Women's Circle meets on Zoom on the first Monday and third Thursday every month at 7 p.m. And you can contact me, Sandy, for information. We're co-creating the world in which we live. And this fall, that means to vote. There's a lot to be decided on November 8th, so be sure to register now, be prepared, and vote. Thank you for your tax-deductible donations by PayPal, check, Venmo, Cash App, or Zelle. And thanks to the team that makes our Zoom celebrations work and has fun doing it. To join the joy, go to the website, scroll down to where it says volunteer, click, and I will get back to you with more information. Next Sunday is online with What's New. Reverend Bill Marcioni explores the ways that we apply the principles of New Thought to bring newness into our lives, even though New Thought itself is nothing new. Music on video by some of our favorite performers. The practitioner interns are doing full sessions at no charge to complete their training. Contact them to set up an appointment. After the celebration, Jesus will be available for a quick miracle in a minute prayer, and we'll leave the Zoom meeting open for people to talk amongst ourselves after the celebration.
Thank you so much, Sandy. I love during the announcements, we announce how many spiritual adventures there are on the meetup, and we put the number into the announcements, into the script on Saturday, and then like it was up by 2 or 3 people. It was 1,155 today. I just love watching the growth happen and the connections that are going with people. And by the way, if you know somebody who might enjoy our community, either the Sunday morning celebrations or the classes or the daily meditations, invite them along. Do not keep this a secret at all. When we're in person, which, by the way, we're getting close to being back in person, we looked at a theater where we might be able to meet in South Philly every once in a while. When we're in person, we have a wonderful gift and a blessing for our second-time visitors. And we also have a blessing and a welcome packet for our first-time visitors. So those of you like Asa who are here for the first time, just receive the love and the blessing. The rest of us, we'll rub our hands together, really feel that warmth, feel that love, and send that out. You are the bright light of God's love. Thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing that love and shining that light with us today. Welcome. As we do the next song, go ahead and switch to gallery view and make eye contact with the people we're in community together with. Ami.
Corn in the field, listen to the rice when the wind blows across the water. King harvest is surely come. Will I work for the union? 'Cause she's so good to me, and I'm bound to come out on time. That's where she said I should be. I will heed every word the boss may say, for he's the one who brings me down my pay. Looks like this time I'm gonna get to stay. I'm a union man now all the way. Smell of the leaves from the magnolia trees in the meadow. King harvest is surely come. Dry summer, then comes fall. What I depend on most of all. Hey rainmaker, can't you hear my call? Please let these crops grow strong. And long enough I've been up on Skid Row. It's plain to see I've nothing to show. Just don't judge me by my shoes. Well, I'm still glad I paid my union dues. Scarecrow and a yellow moon. Pretty soon there's a carnival at the edge of town. King harvest is surely come. Last summer wasn't no joke. My whole barn went up in smoke. My horse Jethro, where he went mad. I can't ever remember things being all so bad. Well, here comes a man with a paper and a pen. telling us that hard times are about to end. Man, if they don't give us what we want, oh, that's when we gotta go on strike. Corn in the fields, listen to the rice when the wind blows across the water dirt. King harvest is surely come.
Thank you, Ami. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So as we're getting into crisp and cool autumn weather, Hannah down in New Orleans is going to be low humidity and in the mid 70s today, bright sunshine. So don't be jealous as she leads us in the flames of faith.
We perform this ceremony to acknowledge that all people and all faiths come from the one power, love, intelligence, which we call spirit or God. We honor the richness that comes from our shared diversity and bless the interwoven energy of the divine feminine and masculine. We light the first candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. As we light the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone or any place you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love.
Blessed be. So our reading today comes from the Science of Mind textbook, and it's going to be presented by Jennifer Kerrigan.
Good morning. There's no end to the divine nature, and therefore no end to the possibility of our expressing it. But who must behold it? We must look steadfastly into this reality if we are to image it in our own minds. Here is no forlorn outlook, no limited concept. All that God has or is belongs to us and is ours to make use of. We are not to separate life from living, but unite the two into a perfect one. The thing and the way it works, the glory and the image of the glory in common affairs of everyday life. Nor have I seen, nor can tongue tell the greater possibility of any soul. Only God has revealed this through his Son, and this Son is each one of us, from the apparent least to the apparent greatest. The world is saturated with divinity, immersed in reality, and filled with possibility. We must take this divine possibility and mold it into a present actuality in everyday experience. This is the way to freedom, the pathway to peace and happiness. Even in our troubles, we are not cast down. And though we appear to be deserted, we are not destroyed. All our experiences are working to the end that we learn the lesson of life and return to the Father's house as freed souls. We should not despise apparent failures, the temporary chagrins of life, for they are salutary, leading the soul to the inner Christ, the way, the truth, and the life. When the experience is complete, the lesson will be learned, and we shall enter the paradise of contentment. We do not look at the things which are seen as being eternal. Behind the visible and changeable is the changeless reality, the eternal one, working in time and space for the expression of itself. The divine ideas stand back of all human thought, seeking admittance through the doorway of the mind. If we look at love long enough, we shall become lovely, for this is the way of love. God is love. If we gaze longingly at joy, it will make its home with us, and we shall enter its portals and be happy. If we seek the divine in men, we shall find it and be entertaining angels unawares. God's ideas and attributes are eternal and cannot change. In change is the changeless. In time is the eternal and timeless. In things, the Creator manifests his power and glory forevermore.
Renew, rejoice, begin to begin again. Renew, rejoice, begin to begin again. Renew, rejoice, spin round and round again, my friend. Renew, rejoice, begin to begin again. From the fringes start, pull up and apart. Quit your wool gathering, look up from meandering, lurch your heart. Begin to start to address. Renew, rejoice, begin to begin again. Renew, rejoice, begin to begin again. Renew, rejoice, spin round and round again, my friend. Renew, rejoice, begin to begin again. Let the waters part, step into the shallow start. 1 foot in front of you, the whole world behind you is great haste. Walk through with grace and arise. Renew, rejoice, begin to begin again. Renew, rejoice, begin to begin again. Renew, rejoice, spin round and round again, my friend. Renew, rejoice, begin to begin again. In the deepest of the dark, from the corners of the murmurs of the heart, where there is rhythm, there is this music. There are these songs to be sung through raging waters, by the quiet of the reservoir, the space between. So breathe in, breathe in, breathe out. Renew, rejoice, begin to begin again. Renew, rejoice, begin to begin again. Renew, rejoice, spin round and round again, my friend. Oh, renew, rejoice, begin to begin again. Renew, rejoice, begin to begin again. Oh, renew, rejoice, begin to begin again. Renew, rejoice, spin round and round again, my friend. Oh, renew, rejoice, begin to begin again. Begin to begin again. Begin to begin again. begin to begin again.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ami. Wonderful. What a treat today. My dear friend, Martha Creek, is going to speak for us today. She describes herself as serving those who serve, and her passion is for taking this New Thought teaching and getting it out into the world in a profound and deep and important way. She does church growth work, and she interviews people for the Walden Awards back when that was a thing, and finds the most amazing speakers to take part in our Anton retreat, where she's been the retreat chair or co-chair with me for the last couple of years and going forward into the future as well. She is passionate about the teaching. She is fun and feisty. She's from Bug Tussle, Kentucky, which she may or may not tell you about. And she is one of those people who has an hour-long meeting in 22 minutes and is absolutely amazing. A gift to me and to the world. Martha Creek.
Hi, everybody. Well, let's get the important stuff out of the way. Bug Tussle, Kentucky is actual and factual. It's true. It's on the border of Kentucky and Tennessee, right in the middle, and Google will show you a map of it. And if you go to marthacreek.com, you'll see a picture of me standing on the Bug Tussle store front porch. And when Martha was a kid, that was Walmart. And it was Lowe's, and it was Home Depot, and it's where you got your hammer and your nails and your sliced bologna and your milk and your white bread. So it's had some evolution since then, and you'll see the tracings of it there. It is an absolute privilege for me to be with you. Thank you, Dr. Bill, for inviting me. This is a tremendous community. It's exactly as Bill said, my absolute passion, desire, intent, and actions to get empowered teachings to the whole of the world and to serve those who serve. So that's what I believe about you, that you're serving too in mighty powerful ways, or you wouldn't be here this morning. And I uplift you in whatever that is. So I'm going to see if I can take whatever hell is left in you, whatever suffering is left in you. I'm going to see if I can just dismantle that this morning here in the few minutes that we have. So this is, I'll give a few little ideas. It's been presented in the New Thought world from Ernest Holmes and Charles and Myrtle Fillmore and others. And this one is from a modern day mystic called Adyashanti. And he says it like this: until the whole world is free to agree with you. Anybody want the whole world to agree with you? And listen to this. Now, this is Bill where you better close the door because they may start leaving the meeting anytime now. Until the whole world is free to agree with you or to disagree with you. Until the whole world is free to disagree with you or to agree with you. Until you who hold all the innate and empowered power of the world, the innate inherent power that you are and have, until you have given the freedom to everyone to like you, to not like you, to understand you, to not understand you, to love you, to hate you, to include you, to exclude you, until you give the freedom to everyone to see things as you see them, or the freedom to see things differently. Until you have given the whole world its freedom, you'll never have your freedom. I'm not asking you to agree. This is only for people who have suffered enough. So if you think you may have suffered just enough, then just breathe into this for a minute. Like, oh my goodness, my freedom lies in me offering freedom. My freedom lies in me giving freedom. My getting me off the hook means I've got to take the hook out of me. I've got to take the hook out of them because I'm on the other end of that hook line that I put into them. Now, the great news about this is we get to practice it. There's no shortage of curriculum. Have you noticed? And then New Thought says this: thought forms become perceptions. Then perceptions produce our experience. So when every day matters, every day matters. Every moment of the day matters. Every interaction matters. Every action matters. Every prayer, every spoken word, every reaction. And then to have the freedom to, as was shared so beautifully and so powerfully just a few minutes ago, like we're going to have some instinctual panic at times. And there's a different place available to us. That even though the hard wiring, the biological wiring is panic, there's an upper room. There's a different place that says, wait a minute, let me get back to this. Now, what am I going to experience here? Regardless of what's happened in the outer, my thought form creates how I'm going to experience this. So perceptions do not create reality. Perceptions create my experience of reality. This is good news. This is great news. So if I want to have a different experience of reality, then I'm going to have a different framework. I'm going to have a different structure of knowing, a different worldview on this. And that's revolutionary, frankly, because there's plenty of folks over here that will collude with us to just awfulize. Ain't it awful? Ain't it awful? So to not to be tempted, lead us not into the temptation of the awfulizing mind. Deliver us. Deliver me. Deliver me, for thine in that delivery, thine is the power. There is the power. So then I can be one today, one in an interaction, one in an action, one in an interchange that does not have to have an experience of reality like my old way of experiencing reality. And I can be one that's freer of the thoughts, freer of the old painful thoughts that would leave me stuck into an archaic way of being in the world that's absolutely optional. And how to do this then in everyday life with an everyday heart. And, you know, we're keen to say there's one powered, one presence in all the universe, but it cannot include that knucklehead over there. And until he apologizes to me, he is not one. Oh, no, he is one. Oh my goodness, what is it? Oh yeah, he is one. We're all one, but it couldn't possibly include her. With that attitude, all she does is complain. God, she is bitter. Negative Nelly. It's like, wait a minute. I'm criticizing the critical. I'm judging the judgmental. I'm calling negative Nelly Nelly. Guess who's negative? Then it's like, okay, gently then, with compassion and hopefully with less self-hate, I can use that mirror back to myself to say, okay, if I want less criticism in the world, then it's me to stop putting as much criticism in the world so that I won't perpetuate the very thing I claim I want to end in the world. And that I won't perpetuate the very thing that we sing songs about, the harvest and beginning again, and how wonderful life can be and life is if I don't start to create something else. So in the Science of Mind, in Ernest Holmes' teaching, he says, in giving then our mind treatment, in a spiritual mind treatment, we pause. We meditate upon, we contemplate, we reflect upon the essence of pure spirit that we are. A perfect life as it is. And we practice this communion. We practice this pause. And we practice and practice until we have a sense of a deeper inner something, a different option, until we're not so instinctually reactive, until our mind entrains, until our mind becomes fixed, one with, atoned with the realization that we're surrounded by a perfection that we often can't see in the physical form. We're surrounded with a complete and abundant life, even when it doesn't go our way, even when I don't get my way, even when it didn't turn out like I prayed for, wished for, wanted for, treated for. Even then, there is a completeness to that, a wholeness to that, that's unseen. And Charles Fillmore spoke about faith as being that in the unseen. Faith that even though I can't see this. One of the New Thought teachers, Mary Baker Eddy, comes to mind. It was her. She would say, I demand to see the blessing in this. I demand to see the blessing in this. I'm not experiencing this as a blessing yet. And I know if the teaching is true, then there is blessing in this. The great news for me is I don't have to like it. I don't have to love it. And I don't have to go to war with it either. That's the great news of the day. And herein lies liberation. Herein lies freedom. So we withdraw from the finite, the outer, the allure of the outer, and enter a realm of the infinite. Infinite, infinity. And then back and forth we go. And the dance, the internal pull to kind of go back out and try to get demanding, willful, stubborn, fault-finding, hold grudges. Can any of you relate to this? Like the more animalistic, instinctual parts, and then to say, okay, then I'm practicing my way toward evolution, that I'm going to make some conscious choices here that's going to change my experience. It's going to change my state of mind, my state of being in the world. So this comes from a writing from Ernest Holmes called Living Without Fear. And I don't know anybody without fear, just so you know, including me, nor have I ever met anybody without fear. Now, maybe somebody highly intoxicated or under the influence of something, maybe less afraid. But so fear is a wiring, fear is built into us. And we who practice, we who understand this law and align with this law, understand that I don't have to be as afraid. I don't have to be as afraid. Fear will be there. And how can I have fear and fear not have me? Fear will be there. And I'm going to give some room for fear. I accept that there'll be fear. And fear doesn't have to have me as much. And this is what it says in this writing from Ernest Holmes. I am the law. The law is the law. So this will be adapted. So don't write me any letters about butchering up Ernest Holmes. I have to present it the way that I embody it. The law is the law. The law says, I am hard as a stone, cold as steel, bitter as gall, deadly as poison, and I am soft as down, warm as sunlight, gentle as a zephyr, and tender as a mother. I'm your adversary, your opponent, your enemy. I am. I am your counselor, your assistant, your friend. I am stronger than the strongest. I bend you to my iron will. I'm yielding. I'm yielding to the uttermost. I'll gladly go your way. I am a curse and I am a blessing. I, the law, am what you make me. I am what you make of me. I take and I give. I thwart and I serve. I degrade and I exalt. I am the law. I am your master or your servant. Obey me, obey the law, and you are my master. Disobey, and you are my slave. I am the law. Big deep breath. We're told in every faith tradition that we are never separated from enlightenment. That there's another option for us, pain or peace, panic or practice, panic or no. Even at times when we feel stuck, even in those times, we're never alienated from this more awakened upper room state of consciousness. And even ordinary people like us, with hangups, confusion, doubt at times, and just a good old rant every now and then, have an enlightened mind. We have an enlightened aspect in our mind, to our mind, that's absolutely available and accessible and a little more default-like through practice. So practice, 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 and practice makes progress. So as the open-heartedness, the warmth of this, even with our neurosis, even something that's more basic, there's something deeper than our neurosis or something wiser than this, something that knows the truth of us. And even in our state of mind that we get in sometimes with navigating the winds of our humanness, this space is available in moment after moment after moment. To care for things, even when we're washing our dishes. Just a minute ago when I cleaned my glasses, on one of my last airplane rides, when I was delayed and couldn't make a connection, and oh, with my important schedule, how upsetting that was. After all I've done for God, and I climbed in there and got in my seat. And I just noticed how kind the man was to stand up and let me pass. And how kind he was to move his drinks over to the other side to make space for a drink for me. And I said to him, I appreciate your kindness. And he said, what'd you say? And I said, I appreciate your kindness. Not another word. No words from him. And at the end of that flight, he said, thank you for saying that. So it's available in moments of gratitude. It's available when we recall a kindness or recognize somebody's kindness or recognize somebody's courage. It's available in music and art. This beautiful Ami. It's available through these prayers, the spoken word, through a God call, through us remembering whenever we let go of holding on to ourselves and trying to keep some persona intact. Whenever we connect with joy, when we drop a resentment, when we drop a grudge, when we drop a complaint, in these moments, it is here. We are here. The heart of everyday life, the heart of creator in everyday life, and the heart of the heart in us living this everyday life. God bless you. If I can ever serve you in any way, get directly in touch with me. MarthaCreek.com.
גם כי ילך ויצא מוות לא יירא כי אתה ענדי גם כי ילך ויצא מוות לא יירא כי אתה עמדי שבטך ומשענתך המה 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 יחמוני שבטך ומשענתך המה 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 יחמוני.
So now let us begin by allowing that divine essence, that life essence, by whatever name we choose to call it, to breathe us. And know that in each breath, there is everything we need for this here and now moment. And it is present in every breath and every moment to follow. Allow yourself to be filled to overflowing this love, this light, this presence. And settle in and rest in the awareness of all that dwells within and is everywhere present. Take a moment to look at this beautiful dance that is always ongoing, this dance, this intertwining of the human and the divine. And know that this one God, Goddess, Mother, Father, God, whatever we may call it, is present in all the details of our human walk, all of our experiences. We embrace our humanity, we honor our divinity, and we walk our path as equals. There is no person who is any more or less divine than any other. There is no person who has any greater access to the divine than other, or access to higher states of consciousness, to this beauty, this joy, this abundance, this love unfolding that the divine is. And I invite you now to become an observer, to very gently bring into mind anything which you may perceive to be limiting you in any way, to be limiting your access to these higher states of consciousness, to that one, to that beauty, that joy, that wholeness that every being is a part of, that whole, that unified whole of the Creator and its creation. Everything that you may perceive, I invite you to give it shape, to give it a color, give it texture, and in your out breath, release it into the light and allow it to dissolve into nothingness, void of any power, any truth whatsoever. And continue that process as long as you need to. And the phrase that immediately comes to mind is, the kingdom of God is at hand. And continue this process of releasing and just rising to this higher level of consciousness, which is already there. It just awaits our awareness to recognize it and embrace it. And I would like to share with you a definition of this higher state of consciousness, which we may call enlightenment. Enlightenment is any experience of expanding our consciousness beyond its present limits. We could say that that perfect enlightenment is realizing that there are no limits at all. Regardless of how you may have limited your awareness, there is a paradise in and around you. And to be there, you do not even need to make a move. All potential experiences are within you right now, and you can open up to them at any time. This too can be experienced with a completely expanded consciousness. And I invite you to join me as we enter into the silence, into contemplation.
that one divine source, that one creative power, that one which creates everything, everyone, everywhere, which has created everything that exists and has created each of us, has endowed each of us with the ability to choose, to discern, to decide, to understand options and set our own course. We are free to judge the judgmental. We are free to criticize the critical. We are free to disrespect the disrespectful, or not. We are free to open and to allow and to invite something new and something different, something greater than what has been, into being now and next. That infinite creative power that creates everything is always ready to say yes. It's always ready to create something new, to bring something different into experience through and as and for each of us individually and all of us together. So I invite that good for each one of us, whatever we experience as good, more and more and more of that good unfolding into our lives. And I invite each one of us to put down that which is no longer serving us, even in the slightest way, to let go of an attachment or a resentment or anchor to the past, to free ourselves to move into that next newness unencumbered. I'm grateful to know that that creative process is always unfolding. That creative law is always at work. The potential and possibility is always there. And so I speak this word of invitation and I release it into that creative law that creates everything. And I invite something new and wonderful for each of us and for all of us. I'm so grateful for the good. I'm so grateful for the new possibilities. I'm so grateful for the wonderful and remarkably swift way that creative law responds. With gratitude for all of this good, I speak this word, I release it into that creative law, and I know the law is already saying yes. It's already underway. And so it is. So it is. Amen. Another deep breath. Let yourself be filled with a brand new possibility. Let it go. Bring your awareness back to your body. Maybe wiggle your fingers and toes. Shrug your shoulders. Bring your awareness back into the Zoom as Ami does another song for us.
To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time to weep. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to build up, a time to break down, a time to dance, a time to mourn, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, 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 and a time to every purpose under heaven. A time of love, a time of hate, a time of war, a time of peace, a time you may embrace, a time to refrain from embracing. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, 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 and a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to gain, a time to lose, a time to rend, a time to sow, a time for love, time to hate, a time for peace. I swear it's not too late. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, 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 and a time to every purpose under heaven.
Beautiful. Thank you, Ami. Lyrics were not by the Byrds. Lyrics were not by Pete Seeger. Lyrics were from Ecclesiastes, so been around for a while. Nice music, though. This is the time in our program where we get to give voice to whatever has come up for us. We've been sprinkling some seeds, some flames of faith, some inspiring words from Martha Creek, and a wonderful meditation. If there's anything that's come up for you that you'd like to give voice to, just go ahead and wave your hand or raise your digital hand in the Zoom, and we have an opportunity to share what's come up. Sandy.
Thank you, everybody who participated. It was incredibly beautiful for me. I think I heard something, I've probably heard it before, but not everybody has to like me. For some reason, that really stood out. And I thought, oh my God, that is true. That could change my entire life. And beside that, the divine is in every single human being. It doesn't matter how much status you have. It doesn't matter who you are, what you are. I'm just like these basic things that probably everybody knows, I feel like are just getting in. And I'm so grateful because I feel like what we create on Sunday mornings just opens me up to take in what's important. So thank you, everybody. And Carolyn, that was exquisite. And Ami, thank you so much. Everything was just wonderful.
Thank you, Sandy. Anybody else have something you want to share? Okay. Sarah.
I just wanted to share that I don't remember where I was, but I heard someone say that our human brain, 2/3 of our decision making is all based around identifying things that are negative and storing it in a place so that we protect ourselves. And I had this whole thought process of like, oh, so it's like you have a third of a chance of staying in the positive. So, just think of it that way. It's always a third of a chance. And then hearing you today with the reminder that it's already all here. So that third of a chance becomes 100% when you are in that awareness and you are in that mentality of everyone is divine, everything is divine, and when you're looking for that. So flipping it, it's 100% of the time, not a third of the time you have the opportunity to be positive, but it's 100% when that is the awareness. And so I'm grateful for that reminder because I was 2 days ago, okay, I have a third of a chance of being happy. I have a third of a chance of getting the things that you want and need in life. But now I'm back to 100. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Sarah. Karen, did I see your hand go up? No? Okay. Sandy's turn again.
New Thought Philadelphia is all about spreading the love. Our community is supported by your contributions. The gift you share helps fund our work in the world, and the way you shine your light spreads the love. We're grateful for every way that you share. We don't have a basket today, but there's a donate button on the website to make a donation by credit card, PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo. You can also mail a check to our office in Ardmore. The offering affirmation is on the screen, and we'll say it together. I live in an abundant universe. I am one
with the infinite source
source
of
of
all
all
good.
good.
I am a center of conscious prosperity. I enjoy the richness of life. I bless my gift. I share my gift with gratitude and joy. I know that as I give, I do receive.
And so it is.
So it is. Hit your mic buttons one more time, and Ami's going to do one more song for us.
Without a warning, you stole my heart. Well, you took it, darling, and you tore it apart. You left me standing in the dark and crying. You said your love light for me was dying. Well, I'm begging you, baby, oh, baby, please, turn on your love light, let it shine on me. Turn on your light, let it shine on me. Turn on your love light, let it shine on me. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Well, I get a little lonely in the middle of the night. I need you, darling, to make things right. Well, I'm begging you, baby, baby, please. Well, I'm begging you, baby, I'm on my hands and knees. Turn on your light, let it shine on me. Turn on your love light, let it shine on me. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Oh, you let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. So let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Oh, you let it shine, you let it shine, oh, you let it shine. Turn on your light, let it shine on me. Turn on your love light, oh, let it shine on me. Turn on your light, let it shine on me. Turn on your love light, let it shine on me. Let it shine on we, let it shine on me. Let it shine on us, let it shine on you. Let it shine on me, let it shine on us.
Oh, what fun, Ami. Thank you so much. Thank you, Martha Creek. Thank you, Carolyn and Jesus and Annie and everybody who took part in the celebration. Martha, say something wonderful to close us up.
Don't be a knucklehead. Complaints or contributions, issues or ideas. All right, let's go be it, shall we?
Amen. Go ahead and unmute your microphones. Repeat after me. I am a love light.
I am a love
Love light.
And I let it shine.
I let it shine.
I let it
So it
shine.
is.
And so it
So it
is.
is.
Wonderful, wonderful. Don't be a knucklehead.